Hi, my name's Chuck Williams, and I'm going to be opening the show tonight. This is the ACMA concert, and the headliner tonight is going to be Claudia Schmidt, and you'll be seeing her in about 20 minutes or so. And in the meantime, my name's Chuck Williams. I'm a singer-songwriter from up in Massachusetts, and also down in Florida, and I'm going to play a few songs for you. This is called Hard Road. Thunder clouds off to the west are blacker than the night. There's a diner at the next hilltop off the shoulder to the right. Rolling down this hard road with my diesel engine wound. This heavy hauling trucker is Oklahoma bound. Coast to coast, this country's big. There's miles to unwind. Miles across the Great Divide. I think I'll stop and rest a while. Fatigue is hard to hide. Rolling down this hard road, chasing that thin white line. Destiny has marked my way, it's printed on a sign. Coast to coast, this country's big. There's miles to unwind. When I climb into this rig, the hard road's all I'll find. When that road will let me be, when I've run that last mile, the hard road will let me be, and I'll leave her with a smile. Miles across the Great Divide. I think I'll stop and rest a while. Fatigue is hard to hide. Rolling down that hard road, chasing that thin white line. Destiny has marked my way, it's printed on a sign. Coast to coast, this country's big. There's miles to unwind. When I climb into this rig, the hard road's all I'll find. There you have it, Hard Road. This next song is this is actually the title track off of a 2010 album called Lightning in a Bottle. And it's a song about impossible stuff. Capture lightning in a bottle. It's like chasing a shooting star. Keep a firm grip on the throttle and wander ever so far. Ride a bullet through the fire and see what can't be seen. Be a twister spinning higher than chasing evil queen. ride to Mars. They lived there for a year, believed in life beyond the stars. Never show your fear. Lightning in a bottle is one thing I've never seen. Can't be caught by anyone. Is it just a dream? To cross the wastelands of the mind, aboard a laser beam, to live out time as clocks unwind, just once upon a dream. To hear the ocean as it roars, waves crashing endlessly, to be an eagle as it soars above the tallest tree. Lightning in a bottle is one thing I've never seen. Can't be caught by anyone. Is it just a dream? Is it just a dream? So much time to finish what we start, to know we share this life sublime, from birth until we part. So dance along without a care, letting all see you as you are. To capture lightning in a bottle, like chasing a shooting star. Lightning in a bottle, one thing I've never seen. Can't be caught by anyone. Is it just a dream? Is it just a dream? There you go. Some very strange things going on in that song, lyrically. Okay, that was from 2010. This song that I'm going to do now is called Backyard Oak Tree, and it's from my 2018 album called Stories I've Told. And I'm real proud of that one. Of course, we're always proud of the most recent album that we've done. So this story is about an oak tree that sits behind the house that we live in here in Massachusetts, down on the south coast. The house was built in 1824, and it's going to be 200 years old very soon. And it has ghosts. Yes, it has ghosts. There are spirits in our home. One day I came home from hanging out with some friends, and I walk in the house, and there's this tall ghost with dark hair, little dark beard, black jacket, carrying a stovepipe hat, and I swear it was Abe Lincoln. For years I thought, it can't be. Then we had a vendor that came in and did some painting for us, and he come running out of the house one day, and he told me the very same story. Same guy, black hair, black beard, black hat, and so we have spirits, and we've seen several different spirits. But he's in this house, and behind this house is that oak tree, and although the song doesn't have anything to do with Abe Lincoln. Just like he enters this house, he does make a cameo. Backyard Oak Tree. Grew up on a farm at the crest of a hill, behind a house that's standing still. Stretched out to the east and to the west, reached to the sun so I'd look my best. Honest Abe passed through in late '48, rode a train and spoke across the state. If it were sunny, he'd need my shade. If I were a stump, a speech would be made. I've seen forests and farms rambling at times, seen fields and farmers fighting for dimes, seen people come and people go. I've seen the droughts and 6 feet of snow. 100 years later, a storm came undone, took lives and houses on waves that run. Left many friends down on the ground, wicked winds blew a terrible sound. Saw children play in big piles of leaves, became parents, had family and rolled up their sleeves. Kept their hands on the plow day and night, poor working families just doing what's right. I've seen forests and farms rambling at times, seen fields and farmers fighting for dimes, seen hurricanes come and hurricanes go. I've seen the droughts and 6 feet of snow. Here I am, standing tall, head and shoulders above all, wearing green in the summer, golden brown in the fall. Well, I'm standing here, slowly falling apart. I'm in the same place that I did start. Drop my acorns before I drop all my leaves. I'm a centuries old backyard oak tree. I've seen forests and farms rambling at times, seen fields and farmers fighting for dimes, seen seasons come and seasons go. I've seen the droughts and 6 feet of snow. I've seen the droughts and 6 feet of snow. Backyard oak tree. There you go. Of course, down in Florida, you don't see snow very often. And presumably, this is where the show is coming from, but as you can tell, I'm at home. And I'm sure that Claudia's got a setup at her place as well. So it's not live. It's from Florida. We're all in our little locations, doing our thing, trying to stay safe. I'll throw you out a song from 2006. It's called "Smart Too Late, Old Too Soon," which is German phrase. Late too smart, soon too old is the way they say it. Where I picked up the phrase was an article on the sports page where Mike Tyson had just lost a heavyweight championship fight to Buster Douglas, and a sports announcer asked Mike if he was going to retire now that he's been knocked out, and Tyson said to him, "I don't know, I guess I was smart too late and old too soon." I I knew a man who knew all there was to know. Didn't follow no one, kept no one in tow. Didn't realize just what he was doing. He was smart too late and old too soon. He was smart too late and old too soon. Had many opinions, spoke them all but one. Lived a short life and he had little fun. Took his shots along the way and he licked his own wounds. He was smart too late and old too soon. He was smart too late and old too soon. His friends had said, you have only a few Friday nights remain. You must go enjoy them if you want to stay sane. So now he finds himself in his life's own June. He was smart too late and old too soon. He was smart too late and old too soon. Throughout his life there were seeds to sow, something to stand back on that will grow and grow. But the only thing he left was written in this tune. He was smart too late and old too soon. He was smart too late and old too soon. So time walked on by, teaching lessons as it will. He stood fast day to day, never getting his fill. Never had a true love, solitary as the moon. He was smart too late and old too soon. He was smart too late and old too soon. Waning years, there was shortness of breath. Sat signed to all who had feared this man's death. Though his spirit rose in the sky like a hot air balloon, he was smart too late and old too soon. He was smart too late and old too soon. Yeah, that's a golden oldie, at least for me. I started recording back in '99, but 2006 was the first album that I put out in a professional way. Liner notes and the whole 9 yards, out on the radio and that like. So that's been a lot of fun doing all this music making that we do. So I got one more song for you, and then we're going to get on to Claudia Schmidt, and I'm looking forward to it just as much as you are. This is not one of my songs. This is a song of Michael Troy, a very good friend of mine. Unfortunately, he passed away back in 2015, but he left a lot of thoughts and ideas behind for me, or for many of us, about the ability to write a song. And this one was the song that got him on the mark early on with WUMB up here in Boston. It's called Talk Radio. a cup of coffee, pull up a chair, turn on talk radio. It's 5 o'clock and the birds are up and there's really no place to go. Every other week I do my time in the unemployment line. I just thank God for this government cheese and these friends of mine. I raised 2 children in the south of town, down below the hill. The wife and I put them both through school, working in the mill. Now the wife is dead and the kids are gone, and I'm existing still, like the granite block that harbors space upon the hill. Started work when I was 16, young and eager, wet and green, a lean, mean laboring machine, consumed in American dreams. Yet in those golden years, you gotta realize what that means. I got a son in California, I got a letter that says he's fine. Got a picture on my dresser, got medals all in a shrine. The youngest was a rebel, wouldn't follow protocol. My first son's name's in Washington upon the wall. Started work when I was 16, young and eager, wet and green, a lean, mean laboring machine, consumed in American dreams. Yet in those golden years, you gotta realize what that means. Away, they fly away, like robins in the fall. When the grass is gone, the hay we stay behind. In God we trust, they'll return in the spring if they haven't turned to dust. There's a dozen wars or so going on all the time. In every creed and color, some father's son lay dying. Pour a cup of coffee, pull up a chair, turn on talk radio. The old timers are picking bones, I don't feel so all alone. Started work when I was 16, young and eager, wet and green, a lean, mean laboring machine, consumed in American dreams. Yet in those golden years, you gotta realize what that means. Away, they fly away, like robins in the fall. When the grass is gone to hay, we stay behind. In God we trust, they'll return in the spring if they haven't turned to dust. Thank you, thank you. Hey, it's been real fun, and just in a few minutes, probably even less than that, where we're putting these videos together, you will be listening to Claudia Schmidt right here at the ACMA concert. So have a good time. It's going to be fun. See you next time.
Hello, everybody, wherever you are. So glad you're here with me tonight. And I want to start out, since it's National Poetry Month, appropriately with a poem. It's also Shakespeare's birthday month. So the one I want to start with was the winning entry in a Washington Post style contest a few years ago, where people were challenged to take something, anything, and apply the style of some writer to it, to kind of repurpose it. So a guy named Jeff Brecklin was the prize winner in this one, and he took our beloved Hokey Pokey. I still feel like my favorite bumper sticker is, what if the Hokey Pokey really is what it's all about? And so he took the Hokey Pokey and channeled William Shakespeare, and this is what he came up with. Oh, proud left foot that ventures quick within, and soon upon a backward journey lithe. Anon, once more the gesture then begins, sinistral pedestal to writhe. Commence thou then the fervid hokey poke, a mad gyration, hips in wanton swirl, to spin, a wild release from heaven's yoke. Blessed dervish, surely canst go, girl. The hoke, the poke, banish now thy doubt. Verily, I say, 'tis what it's all about. When lonely feelings chill the meadows of your mind, just think when winter comes, can spring be far behind? Beneath the deepest snows, the secret of a rose is merely that it knows you must believe in spring. Just as a tree is sure its leaves will reappear, it knows its emptiness is just a time of year. The frozen mountain streams of April's melting streams, how crystal clear it seems you must believe in spring. You must believe in love and trust it's on its way, just as the sleeping rose awaits the kiss of May. So in a world of snow, of things that come and go, where what you think you know you can't be certain of, you must believe in spring and love. You must believe in spring and love. Some people can't love from a long, long distance. Some can't love from across the room. Some jump up in the morning to glimpse the sunrise. Some snap up the shade to let in the gloom. It's a big enough world and it takes all kinds, the good, the bad, mostly the in-between. I love the people with the happy hearts. Oh, let your heart dance. There are years that ask big, big questions and years to try to answer them all. There are times too scary for questions when you tumble to your knees and you call. But old tyrant gravity can keep you way down if you let yourself forget how to fly. I need the people with the happy hearts. Let your heart fly. Oh, just take it all in, see where you've been, let it all out again. You know the times you've been shamed into silence when you needed most of all to be heard. You had some love and it's sweet as a lemon taking slow poison from the slippery word. No one has ever made the last mistake yet. Will bounce back one too many times. You owe yourself a dose of happy heart. Set your heart free. Just take it all in, see where you've been. Let it all out again, yeah, yeah. Oh, in a corner is fine, walking in too straight of a line. The only way you'll end up all alone is by refusing to give someone a sign. I'd rather feel all bad than just have good, so I'll no doubt be bold to pull on through. Bring on the people with a happy heart, so let your heart sing, yeah. I love the people with God. I need the people with God. Bring on the people with the happy hearts. The happy hearts. Yeah. Happy hearts. And before that, a beautiful song written by Michelle Legrand and Alan and Marilyn Bergman, perfect for this time of year. I always think of a line of poetry from Anne Sexton who says, "The joy that isn't shared dies young." So that's what I'm here to do. That's what I love to do in my music. And I was so joyful when Alice Schaefer and I, a couple of years ago, had finally been able to set up a date for the Americana Community Music Association in Fort Myers. And took us a long time to get there, and finally I was supposed to show up on Leap Day 2 Februaries ago, and just a couple days before that, fell ill with what was probably COVID-19 before everything hit the fan, as it were. So I had to cancel the date, and here we are tonight, making up for lost time, but I'm hoping maybe next Leap Day, Alice, I can come back. I hope so. Anyway, I fell into a fever dream just a couple of nights before this was supposed to happen in my illness, and I woke up. There was a train whistle near my friend's house, I think, that started it all, and I had a visit from one of the ghosts of the suffragists. And of course, one of the sad things this past year, so many things, but it was the 100th anniversary of women getting the vote, and we couldn't all come together and hoop it up. So this is my contribution to what we didn't get to do last year, but what we acknowledged and celebrated regardless in our own way. Women in White. I heard a train in the night. I saw those dresses of white. I knew the time was right to claim what's mine. Too long in chains of fear, there's no more need, my dear. We are so very near to the finish line. Oh, we were beaten in the streets, we were thrown in jail, mocked and abused, but to no avail. Because the women in white kept marching for the right to vote, yeah. Ooh, the women in white kept standing for the right to vote. We tried the middle way, we talked to those men every day, but we were sent away with a shake of their heads. What else could we have done? This was for everyone, our daughters and our sons, and long after we're dead. Oh, we were beaten in the streets, we were thrown in jail, mocked and abused, but to no avail. Because the women in white kept marching for the right to vote. Ooh, the women in white kept standing for the right to vote. Women in white, oh, women in white. 100 years ago, we won that right. Women today, there's still no ERA. Can't you find a way to be the new women in white? That train is bound somewhere. Now it's you that must dare to journey all the way there with our precious gains. Please don't give up the fight. save our hard-won rights. But there are those who'd put us right back in chains. Yes, we were beaten in the streets. We were thrown in jail, mocked and abused, but to no avail. Because the women in white kept marching for the right to vote. Oh, the women in white kept standing for the right to vote. Women in white, ooh, women in white. 100 years ago, we won that right. Oh, women worldwide, I see a shifting tide. When I see you standing side by side, the new women in white. I heard a train in the night. Ooh, I saw those women in white. Yes, I see those women in white. Women in white. Yeah, women in white. Well, shortly after that, we got home from Florida, and it was clear we were in the middle of a pandemic, and everyone was terrified to do anything to go out of the house. We didn't know at that point how the virus spread. We had fomite fright. We had to scrub our groceries down before we brought them in the house. If we even went out to get them, it was a terrifying time. And so in the midst of all that, one day I reached out for my beloved, and he responded by saying, "Don't touch my face." We had a good laugh. And well, that night again, I was dragged out of bed in the middle of the night, having to write down these words that I thought was a poem at the time. But when I got up in the morning over coffee, realized that I had written a song for lust in the time of COVID called the "Don't Touch My Face" Tango. You walk into my room, every molecule's on fire. You take me in your arms and I am molten with desire. Your clever hands commence their dance with mischief, art, and grace. Just don't touch my face. You've the power to melt my heart with just one longing look. You're 50 movies wrapped in one, you're better than the book. You whisper in my ear, and I'm beyond all time and place. Please, don't touch my face. Oh, don't touch my face. I see you reaching. Don't touch my face. I am beseeching. You can touch me almost any place. Just don't touch my face. You're sweet incendiary, and I tremble when you're near. You never fail to thrill me with your beauty, wit, and cheer. You moving close, I'm helpless now. My blood, my passion race. Just don't touch my face. Don't touch my, don't touch my, eek. Don't touch your, no, don't touch my face. The Don't Touch My Face Tango. A song that would have never been written if not for this past year and our pandemic. Well, being as how it's Poetry Month and it's also getting to be spring, I wanted to give you one of my little poems that is about my favorite harbinger of spring. I don't know where you live. You have a particular bird that you listen for or watch for when winter seems like it's going on interminably long. And in my part of the world, this is the bird that does it for me. one red-winged blackbird in a field of gold. As all these eyes me behold, worship, song trembling upon the lip of wonder, made tangible by the kiss of thunder, of rain, to a heart all racked with pain. And so quickly over has begun. Slow joy spreads through sad hearts and heads. Those who had forgotten to suppose the meaning of one slender stalk, leaning barely beneath what confronts eyes squarely. The bold presence of one red-winged blackbird in a field of gold. Something that's always exciting is getting to play a brand new song. And this one came along just a couple of weeks ago. A little song about perspective. My baby baked me a honey cake, so fragrant, sweet and warm. We set it aside for a while to cool, but the ants came in a swarm. They covered that cake as quick as you please. There was nothing left to do but watch them enjoy that honey cake just the way we would have to. Sometimes our best laid plans jump up and walk away. Sometimes the hardest work's just to wake to a brand new day. Brand new day. I used to reach for shiny things with a surface bright and fair. I had no eye for the damage then, till it was way too late for repair. But now I see the brokenness just about everywhere I look. And this poor old heart's about to burst with love. I can't believe how long it took. Sometimes our best laid plans jump up and walk away. Sometimes the hardest work's just to wake to a brand new day. Brand new day. Two planets kiss and dance apart high above this tiny place. We stand in awe and contemplate what it means for the human race. The tricky thing with prophecies, at their worst or at their best, is if you make them feel like the deal is done, so to hell with all the rest. Sometimes our best laid plans jump up and walk away. Sometimes the hardest work's just to wake to a brand new day. Sometimes our best laid plans jump up and fly away. Oh, sometimes the hardest work's just to wake to a brand new day. Ooh, a brand new day. Ooh. Yeah. You never know where songs are going to come from. I mean, it was another thing where I woke up in the middle of the night and had the line, "My baby baked me a honey cake." And that was all I knew at that point. That was all I had. The Mountain Dulcimer on my lap now, and I'm going to play a song that I wrote last May, actually, when we were in our first wave of COVID fatigue, and people were getting angry and obstreperous and reckless and rude, and that would just think that was almost a year ago. And we're hanging in, and hopefully we'll hang in a little longer and beat this thing. But this song came as a kind of meditation in the midst of all that. I call it quarantine, my quarantine prayer. I am waiting, yes, I'm waiting. There's nothing else to be done, but this waiting's a kind of doing. It's a way to help everyone. My little solitude's a way of joining the greater multitude of which I'm part. So I'll keep waiting until the way is clear to come together, heart to weary heart. I hear the anger, the deep suspicion. This is all just an evil plan. Our very freedom's in greatest peril if we heed these harsh demands. How can we turn away from one another? So many suffering a sad, lonely end. If I can save one life by waiting, well, that's what I'll do for you, my troubled friend. Nothing like this in our lifetime, but many plagues have brought down strife, and always those who were the deniers, who only cared for their small life. Here's a chance to move beyond selfish gain and rise up to humanity's call. So I'll wait and weep and wonder at all the acts of strength and courage, great and small. The weeks are passing, still more are dying. So don't you tell me this is just a game. Now's the time to find compassion and remember we're all the same. Not a one of us who's not fragile. You could be next, and that is why I'll keep waiting until the way is clear to come together kindly. Please, let's try to come together my quarantine prayer. Well, there's a beautiful place in Traverse City, Michigan, East Grand Traverse Bay. In case my friends Heather and Mark are listening tonight, I stay at their house, and I was staying at their house when I wrote this little song on a beautiful summery day. We're having lots of ecological catastrophes and scary things. I know you're having one down your way right now. And the day I wrote this song, I had friends who were up at the Straits of Mackinac who were protesting a pipeline that Enbridge wants to put beneath the Straits of Mackinac, an aged pipeline that they want to double the flow of. And it's a precarious and terrifying thought to do this. So this song celebrates the benign, beautiful lake left undisturbed. It's called East Bay Waltz. Entitled dangerous dance. Its magic spins you round and round. Before you know it, your guard is down, and boy, you never saw it coming, though it was always close at hand. Eyes shut tight to the death of rights, and now you just can't understand every snowflake in the avalanche cries innocence. In the end, it's all just willful ignorance. Ignorance is bound to put you in a trance. Its charm is that you'll never see that your freedom was lost so easily. And boy, you never saw it coming, though it was always close at hand. Eyes shut tight to the death of rights, and now you just can't understand every snowflake in the avalanche cries innocence. In the end, it's all just willful ignorance. Ignorance is a very cushy circumstance. Its consequences are coming due, and it's bound to be a shock to you. And boy, you never saw it coming, though it was always close at hand. I shut tight to the death of rights, and now you just can't understand every snowflake in the avalanche cries innocence. In the end, it's all just willful ignorance. And boy, you never saw it coming, though it was always close at hand. I shut tight to the death of rights, and now you just can't understand every snowflake in the avalanche cries innocence. In the end, it's all just willful ignorance. Willful Ignorance. Martin Luther King has this beautiful quote, "The two most dangerous things in all the world are conscientious stupidity and sincere ignorance. Beware of those things." Well, April is a crazy month, you know. One day you're wearing your parka, the next day you're wearing your flip-flops, and at least up in our neck of the woods. And so there's a season that isn't formally acknowledged between winter and spring, and I'm talking about the season of mud, and we get plenty of that this time of year. My friend Louisa Loveridge Gallus wrote a wonderful poem inspired by Pablo Neruda's cycle of poems. He wrote poems about ordinary things, odes, he called them, ode to my socks, ode to a table lamp, ode to my trousers. It's a kind of discipline. And so she took that form and applied it to what she had a lot of that particular April. It's called Ode to Mud. The silent ground has meditated all these months with the stillness of monks until now. Lowly singer of spring, you swing us slowly toward lilacs and loosenings. Oh, rhapsody of mud. Revelation of worm for weary bird. Perennial household of ancestral bulbs brewing up their repertoire of crocus and tulip in your darkness. Most grand sogginess, you release our ground-shifting moment of truth as we place one careful pastel foot with grace to stay clean, only to step in an ankle-seeping plotch of softening earth our winter eyes have missed, and we come fumbling into your wet wisdoms. High musician of murk, teach us to move deftly as a jazz player's fingers on a fretless bass through this rapture of opening, improvisation on longing, while winter's kittens in the new outdoors explore moist, mysterious paw-disturbing grass before learning to slip with legato stealth through indigo thickets of April's iris. The grand divas of mud country, pigs, play your 12-tone textures on their bristly backs. Sodden, swaying cows sink knee-deep in the fluent fields where sap tappers of maples head toward new running trees on higher ground, each wet step emerging heavier until they arrive, a crowd of Wisconsin Bigfoots to gather the clear flowing crystal that tastes like bliss. Oh, divine lowliness. Reservoir of rain in the park where a child dressed in violet boots in a pale blue sky tries out her first mud legs. Before the torch-sung sun woos new-sown seeds, warming you to summer dust, we surrender to your earth-yielding comings anew. We are winter stones released from the tight ground who fly around the flood-swollen creek in high winds under thunderclouds, then fall back to a full-bodied waltz in your damp embrace. Hop up on these wings of wonder, let us fly toward the sun. Deepest wells and highest mountains, we will know that all is one. Every creature winged and footed, every feature given free. There is no such thing as ugly when the heart can help the eye see. Oh, hop up on these wings of wonder, do not be afraid to fly. I have waited for this moment, do not hesitate to cry. Fear will only kill your longing, make you hope for less than all. There is no such thing as fear when answering sweet mysteries call. Hop up on these wings of wonder while they linger, while they stay. They are strengthened, they are powered, they are soaring night and day. Oh, such magic, they grow stronger with each soul is seen and known. They will not collapse or wither, though some people think they're all gone. No, no, no. Do you do On these wings of wonder there is room for everyone. Wonderstruck and full of power, we can fly when work is done. Free the hand that holds it back, just reach on out and take it in. To be known as well as knowing is to live, to learn again and again and again and again and again and again. Hop up on these wings of wonder, hop up on these wings of wonder, hop up on these wings of wonder, hop up, hop up, hop up, hop up, hop up. Wings of wonder. I dedicate that to the late Mary Oliver, who has inspired so many of us poets and lovers of poetry who considered herself, she liked to think of herself as a bride to amazement, which is a foregone conclusion if you're going to write poetry. I have another writer friend who had a beautiful line from a novel. The character was at the mercy of their astonishment. I love that. This is how I want to live. Well, we're wrapping her up here, and I want to thank Alice and the Americana Community Music Association and Chuck Williams, who did the wonderful opening set and who kind of helped get all this together for us tonight. And I want to let you know that I have at my webpage, claudiaschmidt.com, I have my donation station, and also all these videos I've been doing over the last year. It was my way of performing during the pandemic, Wednesday evening musicals on my Facebook page, and they're all archived at my website, all my music, and we go on. We'll see what happens next. I look forward to actually being in person with you, maybe next Leap Day, who knows? I'll leave you with this thought. Love is the strongest thing I have ever seen. Oh, yeah. Love is the strongest thing that I have ever seen. Well, it can tear whole worlds apart with a mighty sweep, and then build them up again while the children sleep. And love is the strongest thing that I have ever seen. Yes. Oh, in love, it must not be analyzed. Don't you do it now, because you put it under the knife, and I tell you it will just paralyze. Then you got nothing but a showdown between your heart and your head. Tell me, what's it gonna be now, darling? The black couch or the bed? And love, it must not be analyzed. And love, it cannot ever be erased. Well, you can try, but it just won't fly. It can be added to or taken from, but it cannot be replaced. Well, no, you can't turn back in your searching steps. Well, that's like trying to decide where you're gonna bite the apple next. And love, it cannot ever be replaced. If you want to join in with some spiritual type finger snapping like this, you go. Love is our only hope for moving on, and we got to be moving on. You throw your faith out the window and honey, your heart will be gone, long gone. Where you can scuffle for money, sell all your dreams, but the loneliness you're left with is just as bad as it seems. In love, oh, love is our only hope for moving on. Keep it up now, 'cause I got to say it one more time, and that's love. That I have ever seen. It's the strangest, I do believe it's the wildest thing that I have ever seen. Woo, 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 woo. It can tear your whole world apart with a mighty sweep and then build it up again while the children lie asleep. And love is the strongest thing that I have ever seen. Woo! Oh, yeah! Thank you.